I hear you. But what are the protocols? I mean, everywhere else, what are the protocols? If you say to this guy, don't write a letter, especially on such a matter, and he writes a letter, the protocol is not, hey, don't do this. What course of action are you allowed to take, and why didn't you take that action against him?
Well, one of the actions I can take is to warn him, which I did at some point in April, May. I did call him and say, stop doing what you are doing.
This is the journey to One Africa.
And it can be able to be reformed and developed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, General. General, I do think that we have a lot of good men and women in blue in our country. I think it is our collective responsibility to make sure that we create a good working environment for them to ensure the safety of the citizens of South Africa. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Honorable Shigelen, I want to thank you so much. Honorable Mathys, are you ready?
We're born ready, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning. It still is to honorable members and to the National Commissioner. National Commissioner, what conditions or material conditions, I would say, informs the decision to establish a task team? Yesterday, you also spoke that we have a task team in Manguzi. I think I've also heard you speak about the rhino poaching task team and then that. So operationally and strategically, what is happening that these teams are established?
Thanks, Honorable Chair and members. The task team are established at various levels. It can be a station commander's task team, which might consist of 4 or 5 members to address a specific crime problem. Can be under the provincial commissioner. Can be a national task team established by either the structure called the National Crime Combating Forum or the National Joints by the Deputy National Commissioner Policing, or it can be directed from National Commissioner to be established. So it depends where the problem is. And normally the community and or the honorable members and or the executive minister or the president can identify like a specific problem, and we might say, well, we'll address that problem through ordinary policing, or let's establish a specific task team that will deal with the specific problem. So it gets established at various levels.
Okay, so we will establish it's in response to a specific problem, but obviously it's regarding criminality. And do you take into consideration the level of criminality for us to put in resources into that? So in the bigger scheme of things, let's say the rhino poaching opposed to GBV rates, like, does that come into consideration, or is it pretty much a political decision, like as we have seen in the case of the President Ramaphosa went to KZN, attended a funeral, announced at the funeral, we're going to establish a political task team, used the ruling party's position in parliament and in government to say, okay, we're having leadership problems here in the ANC and we can't deal with the greed and the desire for power, whether it's councillors or whether it's their deployees to strategic positions. So we're going to use state resources to do that. So I was asking that question to try and determine, like, how do we prioritize criminality in this country and our response to it?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We prioritize crime, not to say in terms of if it's party political. No, we prioritize crime and we respond accordingly. Even the president, when he was there, he said he didn't establish it for purposes of specific party councillors. It was for political killings, and the task team indeed did sterling work with regard to what they did in KwaZulu-Natal. They arrested for killings of IFP councillors. There's been IFP councillors in Zululand that were killed. There's been DA councillors. You remember there's a DA councillor killed at municipality around Howick. Forgot the name of the municipality there. There's been arrest in that regard. You remember the DA councillor in Beckville who banned his family there and accused other people. We made a breakthrough there. So it's not about a specific party. No, the task team was dealing with matters of whether it's within a party or is one party killing another party. The team did sterling work and arrested in everyone. We do have, in terms of GBV, Honorable Member, we have a unit. It's not a task team. It's a specific unit that is there. We call it family violence and child protection that is dealing with the cases. And of course, remember where there is such a case which we might not understand how it is, it's high-profile case, GBV, we do establish those task teams to go and investigate and make a breakthrough. After breakthrough, then we dissolve the task team. It's not that we prioritize rhinos and politicians over other people. No, we prioritize crime.
Okay, General, the less we say about the FCS, the better. But the point was just that we just wanted to establish the political involvement of political parties, specifically the ruling party called the ANC. And I acknowledge that there are political parties that also, other political party members that are also investigated. But yesterday we were told that the majority of these political killings are ANC members and their deployees too, and I'm sure you will agree with that, but we can move on to that. I know you're trying to keep a neutral position, but we must just be honest that it is the ruling party that has brought us here with the Political Killings Task Force. And not that the task force is not doing a sterling work. I'm just talking about the fact that state resources are mobilized to deal with matters affecting political party in particular. Let's talk about your counterintelligence operations vacancies. So in paragraph 52 on page 25 of your statement, you said that there have been cases where investigations or reports, the question here is there cases where these investigations or reports can be deliberately or falsified to target certain individuals? Have you had a problem like that? And can this process of counterintelligence investigations and report be weaponized against certain people within the South African police force, but the country at large?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. No. The counterintelligence investigation cannot be weaponized. It's purely investigating those people that are involved. If you recall, this crime in Gauteng was, we don't say it's new, it shows it has been there. If I look at the cases now of this Ket Matlala, the 18 new cases I'm talking about, which are not part of those that I had caught, shows that this thing has been for quite some time there around. So, and we discovered it only after the killing of Amaswart in Vereeniging. So there is no weaponization. It's investigation that is based on what has been done, murder or attempted murder or illegal possession of firearm, and it is those people that get linked there. No weaponization of the Gauteng counterintelligence investigations that I'm aware of. Yes, there might be weaponization of maybe other structures against the team, yes, but this specific counterintelligence investigation is not targeting anybody falsely. So they do their work perfectly. So
there's no room for abuse and.
If through you, Honorable Chair, if you look at the record, the cases that they started in 2019 and in 2018, you have seen most of them, they have convictions of late recently. And if you look at those convictions, I mean, there is no judge or magistrate that can hand down those many lives and 40 years and 50 years if they did not get evidence. One thing I'm sure which, well, from our side, which we do give credit to, is General Kumar. He was never a detective, but actually he's the best detective now in the country, that I must say. And most people know that's how it is.
The instruction that you received from the minister on that letter when you were on leave, it says that you must also halt the recruitment, and you said that it was unprecedented and beyond the minister's lawful powers. What did you do about that? Because we've been dealing mainly about the political killings task team. That was one of 3 instructions on that letter. So the halting of filling those positions in crime intelligence, what was done about that? In crime intelligence, sorry.
Yeah, we, through your Honorable Chair, and thanks, Honorable Members. Yes, I did engage the current new acting minister, and I have subsequently advertised those posts. They are being in the process of being filled. Well, I didn't know why. Well, I did say why he said why he was stopping the filling of those posts, but I have since advertised those posts. But and even the rounds of promotions also have been advertised.
Okay, so you just continued with the process. It was done recently because that instruction was given in December. We're now in October. So you didn't halt the filling of those posts in crime intelligence. But I'm saying, what action was taken in the first place against the minister for even giving that instruction? Did you report him anywhere? Was there any? Did you even report to the committee? Because you presented an annual report to us, and I don't remember that being highlighted, that you got an instruction to stop, and that would have been a platform where members of parliament could have engaged the minister to ask why he would give such an instruction.
Yeah, no, that I didn't report anyway. I engaged him personally, and he agreed to say, let's meet and discuss, and we eventually met. And he expressed what is his problem. And I was able to tell him what he sees as a problem is not a problem. And he agreed that, okay, you can now proceed. But of course, he said he still wants to go to the other committee, which that was the part that was outstanding.
On the media briefing, did you think General Mkhwanazi overreached when he went and he did the media briefing?
Well, it's difficult to say, but well, I think, well, he did what he did, so I don't see anything wrong with it. Because the provincial commissioner can do press briefing in his province, and he can. And he did tell me that he's going to talk about the political killings task team, give their successes, and Then he went and he went beyond that. So I don't have a problem with that.
Why did you choose to write an affidavit when he requested you to write an affidavit about the transfer of files, and you didn't act on it yourself? He gave under testimony that you submitted an affidavit, and on that affidavit, based on that affidavit, he opened cases about obstruction of justice, amongst other things, on the 121 dockets that were transferred.
Well, through your Honorable Chair, remember here it is after the fact. After we know that what was happening is a crime. And remember I said, after I had the dockets, that was agreed that if ever the team is closing, dockets must go to station. All of a sudden, these dockets are now here at head office. And I said, there can't be dockets here, they must go where they come from. And those processes were started to get those dockets back. But before that, after one became aware that, what is being done is actually a crime, then you report a crime at a police station with an affidavit.
So why didn't you do it and left it to the KZN commissioner to do it?
I do what?
Why didn't you open the case as the commissioner, because it affected you directly, and you gave an affidavit to him to open the case, so he became the complainant? That's my understanding. Or am I not, I didn't get it correctly?
Well, the offense happened in KZN, and I gave him the affidavit. Giving the affidavit, you open a case through an affidavit.
And there was no other internal processes that you took outside of sending the affidavit to him to open the case in KZN against those who were involved in moving the files?
Actually, I think he's not, well, he's doing an inquiry that he's busy with. I can't here as a national commissioner investigate or investigate a case at head office. Case must be investigated somewhere from police station. So what I did was right.
You don't have to, so the question is just internally as the national commissioner, like there has to be some internal processes that you could have instigated outside of the criminality and actually open a case. Did you do any of that? Just internally, because there are processes, DCs, etc.
Yeah, internally, you should be aware that Lieutenant General CBI is suspended and there is disciplinary process that is undergoing.
Okay, and that formed part of it?
That's correct, yes.
National Commissioner, the media briefing, there seems to be a lot of movement after that media briefing in SAPS. And could it be that this media briefing is, we're not going to really get genuine systemic changes because now it's in the media, our country is all up in arms in it. So those who halt and obstruct investigations in this country are just, submarined. So we've seen movement. And then once the country moves on to something else, we are going to be back to square one and possibly even regress any further. So what systemic changes do we need in the whole justice system, and I guess in the police in particular, to ensure that we don't have, it's going to be the same script, different cast? We've dealt with these ones that have come up now, and we've left a void, and then another crop comes in and does the same thing.
Thanks, Honorable Chairperson and members. Well, we need, yes, an overall of the system of criminal justice. We need oversight to various institutions. Just to give an example, I think during General Mkhwana's testimony, I didn't watch it, the whole of it, either here or at the Madlanga Commission. Somewhere you saw that there was communication between Mr. Matlala, for example, and somebody from IPID, where the plan was they want to get General Khumalo arrested. But the other one was saying, hey, now there's no injuries, there's no JD8, so I can't arrest. So we just need leaders that respect their work, but we also, of course, need oversight that institutions that are meant to do specific work, they do that which they are meant to. They do not chase personal agendas or be weaponized to do nefarious activities and acts. That we need that oversight into institutions, and from the police side, we are prepared to undertake a lot of reforms where we see there are problems, but unfortunately the others we can't. But we need an overall of the system in terms of when it comes to watchdogs. For police watchdog, you have your IPID, you have police secretariat, and you have got all other bodies. So I think maybe as the legislature, you need to look at whether should you have all these many institutions. You have IDEC, you have DPCI. Should you have all these many bodies? Why should you have IDEC and DPCI more or less doing one and the same thing? And you have police secretariat, you have IPID. I know it's there in law, but couldn't you have one institution that is police oversight? In it, you can have a DG with a DDG IPID and a DDG Civilian Secretariat of Police, instead of having too many. And you end up having police, instead of busy fighting crime, they are writing reports to satisfy each and every of these institutions. So that, I think, we need to look at that and look at what these institutions, are they doing what they're supposed to do? Or are they weaponized to do other things? So that is the critical matter that is a problem. Institutions are tend and weaponized to do other things. Like we have now, the counterintelligence operations in Gauteng. There is a lot of institutions that want to get rid of it, or they want to get their nose in there, whereas the team is doing quite a good work and they are getting rid of cartels and criminals. So that's the support we need, and also from the executive and members of this honorable House.
So we as lawmakers, we need to, in summary, what you're saying is to ensure that we don't leave a void after we get rid of cartels and politicians that are involved in enabling all this. We need to look at the oversight bodies. We have too many, and perhaps just have one, and that will assist in trying to maintain a clean South African police service.
Yeah, I think if you do that, you will definitely have a better oversight, because now there are many. Some end up, somebody from you end up going to one and say, no, do for me 1, 2, 3. And they end up being busy with all those things. If you have one, you can concentrate on it and do oversight on us, and we do our work. We have got nothing to hide. Hence, I have now, as you heard yesterday, requested the SIU to do lifestyle audit of all members of SAPS, because sometimes some of you of the honorable members and other public people, they are used against us to say, yes, Malema is corrupt, yes, he's doing that, just to push a narrative that is not really there. Some have been paid to do those things, which is not the truth. So, and public end up believing, no, Malema is corrupt. I mean, where did I do? Whose money did I chow away? So, if we streamline the oversight on police, that will work quite best. Thanks.
National Commissioner, yesterday you said there's about 840 members that are, I'm now on the vetting and security clearance questions. So you've started a vetting process of about 840 members by an independent service provider, if I remember correctly.
That is correct, Honorable Chair. It is a lifestyle audit, not necessarily vetting.
What's the lifestyle audit?
Audit, yeah. Vetting will still be done by crime intelligence and SSA, but this one is a lifestyle audit.
So how did you identify a service provider? Is it a private company? What process did we use in identifying a service provider to do that? And you tell us who the service provider is that's doing the lifestyle audit? Or could we not use someone in the Auditor General? Or anyway, you tell us.
I did say, I say it again, the service provider is a special investigative unit. Mr. Advocate Mutivi's unit. They have got the capacity to do that. It's a state agency. I thought we can use them. They are independent from us. And they have done other institutions, I think provincial government, Gauteng, they use them. So I engaged the advocate somewhere in April, and there was some glitches along, but eventually we have finalized all those, and it's just final touches, and then you will start. But the identification of the 840 or so is the senior management of SAPS. That is from brigadier up to myself. They will start with that. When they finish, then we targeted environments like your central fire registry, supply chain management, division finance, and port of entry. So those will be the second layer as a priority. And from there, we can then see how far we go, because it's a time-consuming exercise.
So they haven't started yet. The process is about to start, is what I'm getting.
Through you, Honorable Chair, that is correct, Honorable Member.
And they have capacity, because, you know, National Commissioner, when we sit in the portfolio committee, we say, yeah, we're starting this wonderful project and we're all excited. And then 3 months later, when we get a report, it's like, no, we don't have capacity. There was no resources, as we see with the issue of security clearance, which we come into now. We determined that they're going to have capacity and more or less the time frame to conduct and complete these lifestyle audits of the 840 senior SAPS officials.
Yeah, those details, that's what is being finalized now, Honorable Chairperson.
Security clearance, do you have security clearance, National Commissioner?
I do have, Honorable Chair.
When was it? And it's every 5 years, if I'm correct.
That's correct.
So your last one was done when?
You don't know whether it's 2-3 years ago.
Why do you appoint people into positions, National Commissioner, when they haven't received the clearance certificates? Because we have a lot of those. And maybe in writing, Chair, we can get that. How many, from you saying from brigadier, right, up until the general, we require security clearance. Am I correct?
Honorable Chair, the 840 is senior management that I'm going to subject to lifestyle audit. It's a different process. Yes, vetting, well, it depends on where you work, what you do. That's how we prioritize. But of course, most of the senior managers.
Amount, right, of more or less how many people who are in those positions require vetting. Do you have it offhand, or you are obviously able to access that information and submit it to us?
The last year, I think the Division Crime Intelligence, they reached their target in terms of vetting. Actually, they overperformed, they overachieved. And hence, this current year, I gave them the target of 1,500, meaning I said, in that 1,005, make sure you finalize every one of the 840. Currently, some of the 840 senior managers, they do have security clearances, but there is a balance that is left, so they must finalize that. And normally when we appoint people, because it is not due to the people's own or negligence, Honorable Chair, that they don't have security clearance. The way the division was structured from those years, it was structured in such a way that it is impossible for them to vet the SAPS by making sure that their capacity are limited. You recall I said at some point there were about 7, the whole country. 7 vetting 186,000. So it tells you. So, but we are building that capacity in the crime intelligence, and they are increasing number, and the performance is also increasing.
And do we find
Honorable Mathys, may you
we're done? Okay.
may you please round
One
up?
more.
Yeah.
You said that during the investigations with CAT, you found that there were 80 other cases related to him. Did I understand that correctly?
That's correct, Honorable Chair.
And it's expanding over what period, more or less, these cases that have been dangling around the country?
I think it goes far back as 2007.
So, National Commissioner, does that not just tell you that how we have failed the country if we have someone has 80, right? Not 18 cases since 2007 up until now, and he's gone under the radar. That speaks to a failed South African police services.
I do agree, Honorable Chair, but we have discovered it ourselves. We are doing something about it.
Thank you. I'm done, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mathys.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good afternoon, General. I want to ask very few questions. I think colleagues have dealt with a lot of issues. Were you reluctant to open a case against those who were involved in the issuing of illegal directives or instruction, including General Sevilla, who wrote a letter to disband PKTT, even when you said you shouldn't issue that letter? I will deal with the matter.
Thanks, Honorable Chair and members. Good afternoon, Honorable Member. No, I wasn't reluctant. After we discovered what is being happening, I appended my signature, I appended my affidavit, and give it to the members to open a case, which is it's being open. It's an inquiry, but sure it will end up being a case.
No, but General Mkhwanazi says he came to you 3 times. And he only got the affidavit when he came for the 3rd time. He had to come himself to Pretoria and wait for you to write an affidavit. So why would he come to you 3 times if you're not reluctant to open a case?
No, I wasn't reluctant, Honorable Chair. I wrote the affidavit. And of course, if there are certain matters that they find that they are not included in the statement, they will ask me to say, what about this? Then I'll amend the affidavit and write it and give it. I was never hesitant, Honorable Chair.
I don't think it is correct to say the crime scene is in KZN. The crime scene is in Pretoria. The dockets are taken to Pretoria. The letters are being written in Pretoria. Some of these implicated people are in Pretoria. You wait for a general from KZN to come and ask for an affidavit from you instead of you registering or opening a case in Pretoria as a top cop, because these things are happening at the head office. Not necessarily in KZN. KZN and General Mkhwanazi tells us that he only comes in when they started touching PKTT. So, meaning these people have been running wrong things there in the head office. And General, you don't open a case until General Mkhwanazi comes. What informs that?
Honorable Chair, the opening of the case, we only open the case after we realize what is happening. Even him, he didn't open a case before because we didn't know what was happening. After we realized what is happening, then we wrote that's when I appended my affidavit, and we look as to where will this be. And we said, well, the team is in KZN, and we registered the case there in KZN. It didn't make a difference. But we said the scene is there where it happened. But yeah, that's how we arrived at it.
No, General, all of us agree that everything happened after you discovered there is a rot. There's something going on which is wrong. You should accept that you did not act in a responsible manner as a national commissioner after you discovered that there was something wrong. If General Mkhwanazi can open a case, you too had a duty to open a case. Actually, it was supposed to be you, not even General Mkhwanazi, because your deputy in Pretoria is the one who issues illegal instruction. Your minister in Pretoria is the one who issues illegal directives and to deal with the people of KZN. So the crime scene is in Pretoria. That's where it's being operated from. It's not being operated in KZN. It's being operated from the head office. As a national commissioner, you ought to take responsibility that on hindsight, you now realize that you are actually the most responsible person who should have acted on these matters.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. I agree, the responsible, but where the case was open, remember the directive was directed to PKTT, and the seat of PKTT is in KwaZulu-Natal. And, well, you can't open a case without affidavit. I'm the first one to pen my affidavit, and this is how we open a case, because you can't open a case without the affidavit. That affidavit of mine is the one that opened the case.
Now, what happens, what are the police protocols when your deputy is told by the most senior, then highest authority, don't do anything, don't write this letter. I'll attend to this matter myself, leave it. And then you wake up the following day, this guy has written a letter. Let's leave the case and all of that. In terms of protocol, what did you do? Because Sibiya gets suspended after the press conference of Mkhwanazi and all of that, but you discovered that this person, I told him, just from a labor point of view and hierarchy and protocols, it can't be that you can give your subordinate an instruction and he acts, that is extreme. To write a letter to disband PKTT and you don't take action against him until there is this noise on Sibiya. Only then we get to hear about special leave and all of that. But that is where after Sibiya defied you and wrote a letter against your wish.
Yeah, thanks, Honorable Chair. I did say that I did call him and say, leave the matter right at the beginning. He wrote letters, and later I learned that he's still doing this. Hence, I told him, hey, I called him, they don't interfere with this PKTT.
Chair, no. I hear you. What are the protocols? I mean, everywhere else, what are the protocols? If you say to this guy, don't write a letter, especially on such a matter, and he writes a letter, the protocol is not, hey, don't do this. What course of action are you allowed to take, and why didn't you take that action against him?
Well, one of the actions I can take is to warn him, which I did at some point in April, May. I did call him and say, stop doing what you are doing.
Now, General, from where I'm sitting, and I don't have a doubt, unlike Honorable President, I agree that you opposed the dissolution of PKTT. And you did it in your own manner, because sitting there, I can see an agreeable person. So you are not going to come across as if you are General Mkhwanazi or Malema or anything. You've got your way of communicating things. So that's your political principle. Whether they call it a boss or not, it's a political principle. It's overseeing your work and the work of the department and all of that. When he says dissolve PKTT and you are not agreeing, it can only be the way you are doing it. Okay, no, I hear you, why? And then the person is not budging on reasons. And then you say, well, let's take time, try to see how we go about it, because you're hoping something in between will happen. So you're buying time so that there could be a possible intervention. And amongst other things, in between, you went to the president and briefed him and all of that. Will I be correct to make that observation that right from the scratch, you were not in doubt that this thing must not be dissolved? But you can't speak to your minister as if you are speaking to your subordinate. You find a correct within a measured ways to address that point.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Yes, I believe that it's not right, and I find a way to address him, for him to open up, to tell us why is he disbanding this team, and that door remained not open.
Now, General, who qualifies to, when there is an information that deserves to be classified, who qualifies to classify information?
It is the author of the information.
So, minister can classify IPIT investigation on Palapal. Does he have a power to do that? If IPIT investigate and comes to the conclusions, and before they release, they share the information with the minister, a minister says, no, this report is classified, don't release. Does he have such a power?
No, it wouldn't be the minister who classified it. He can say it if he saw that the report is classified, but he doesn't have the power to classify it. The report would have been classified by the author, in this case, which is IPIT.
So the IPIT classified Palapala investigation?
According to what you are saying, yes, that will be correct, because I don't have it with me, and I wouldn't know what level of classification is there. But
no, I'm not according to me. I'm asking if Palapala was investigated by IPIT, and then at the later stage, they classified that investigation.
Themselves as the authors, through you, Honorable Chair, would have, if the report is classified, it will be them, IPIT, that classified the report.
Have you checked up on General Khumalo since he called since he went on sick leave or something like that?
I did, Honorable Chair.
And how is he doing?
No, he's doing quite well now.
So we should expect to have him soon?
Yeah, we can expect him soon, yeah. It was quite a tragic thing, but I think maybe a week or so, he will be fine.
Now, General, when you say PKTT did a good job and therefore it must not be closed down, are there few examples you can give us of the work done by the PKTT which are tangible and we can be in a position to make a quick reference to and confirm that indeed this team has made serious inroads?
Yeah, even though I don't have the details of each case, but there is a number of cases that I can give that they resolved. One of them, as I said, is the case of the DA councillor in Bergville. He was convicted for murder and killing. The case of also, I think it's a DA councillor in around Howick. There has been convictions in that regard, and a number of people, including the Nkosi there, has been arrested, and the case is going on. And yeah, the case of Sindiso Magaka, it is the PKTT that have unraveled what we now know. And the case is not yet still finalized. There has been conviction of some suspects or accused, but the case is not finalized. So there is still arrests that will unfold once the first phase is finalized. So, yeah, some of the cases now and then you see in the media where I think recently they did get a life sentence in the murder at Lady Smith. They got life sentences. A number of cases they had life sentences. And in terms of arrests, we have seen they've recently, of course, brought Mr. Molefe on a number of cases, Ket Matlala on a number of cases. And in KZN, it's quite a number of cases, just that I will need to talk to each case, but those are the success that they have done. And also in terms of police officials that were involved in this type of political killings, or they aided in one or another, or defeated the ends of justice, there is 34 police officials that the PKTT arrested, which some of them have been sentenced, some of them are still going court, and majority have been dismissed. Few are still left in the organization. And there is a number of firearms that they have recovered, over 100 firearms that they recovered, which were linked to these cases, where they also found people guilty of illegal possession of firearms and ammunition. So, yeah.
Now, when they went to Molefe's house to arrest him, they found a leader of the PA, Kenny Kunene, with Molefe, and they claimed there were other people, including a journalist. Are you aware of other people who were found in that house, or any journalist who was found in the house of Molefe when he was getting arrested?
I'm not... yeah, I'm aware that there was a journalist, but I don't know who. But I know that they did find Mr. Kunene at that house.
And a journalist. A journalist.
Yeah, the journalist, yes. I don't know who the journalist is, but I know that they did find Mr. Kunene there. Actually, it wasn't the first time. When they went for the second time, they found him there.
When they went for the first time for Molefe, they found Mr. Kunene there, and when they went the second time, they found Mr. Kunene there.
Yeah, the first time he turned at the gate, they were inside busy. He came to the gate and they showed him the road, and luckily, whatever he got, he went for the road.
General Mkhwanazi told us that you guys can search WhatsApps, including a view once and deleted WhatsApps and all of that. Do you have an equipment like that as SAPS, or have you outsourced that responsibility to a private company? And if it's a private company, whose company is that? And how was that tender awarded?
Honorable Chair,
because we don't want to be searched here WhatsApps by Matala. Yeah? You give Matala's tenders there, only to find this the WhatsApp thing is in the wrong hands. So we need to know if it's private, who. But if you've got equipment, that's enough.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. The question is quite sensitive to answer this one, but we don't use service providers. But
so meaning it's internal.
I don't want to confirm that we can do that.
No, General Mkhwanazi came and told us. He said it himself. It's not like we're bringing a rumor or anything. He was sitting there. He told us that they search WhatsApps. They take your phone and search WhatsApps, and they've got it. Even if you delete, they will still find a way of using whatever equipment. So it's not a rumor. He came here and told us that. So I wanted you, as a top cop, to confirm if indeed that is correct.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. I'll have to go back and check with my division, crime intelligence.
Now, Mr. Nkabinde, what was his involvement in the operations of SAPS? Because he will be a chief of staff and operate at that level of the ministry. But the impression we get is that he was now interfering with the admin issues that do not necessarily need a political office to be involved.
Yeah, he would, Honorable Chair, he would interact with during meetings, when we have meetings with the ministers.
And he didn't, outside the meetings, he didn't get involved in the giving officials instructions or anything of that sort?
Yeah, no. From the sub-side, I am not aware of, but from where he was worked once at IPID, I'm not sure. I wouldn't know.
And then Brown Mokhozi, was he ever involved with the SAPS operations or interference of any kind?
No, what I know of, as I said, the first time Honorable Chair heard of the name Brown Mokhozi was from General Mkhwanazi when he raised matters, and I said no, let's investigate it, and we investigated, because when he got involved, that's when he was alerting General Mkhwanazi about the Mbangeni search that was done at the prison by the members of SAPS. So it was at that juncture that he did speak to me about Brown Mokhozi. He bring back an incident that happened long ago, which actually was resolved long ago by myself, of the Mbangeni search of a prison warder's house.
What is so difficult with issuing out security clearance to people like General Mkhwanazi? Because he says it's not of his own fault. There are many others who are awaiting to get security clearance, and it looks like at the intelligence, a crime intelligence or intelligence office, there are some people who are just deliberately holding clearance certificates for certain individuals.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, one of the reforms that we are doing is in that environment to reform. We do not say if somebody is not supposed to get, must get. However, those that qualify to get, they should get. But yes, I picked up that there are problems, and General Khumalo was attending to those problems that were in that environment. So now I will take it further. I'm taking it further with the new DIFCOM, with a view to bring reforms in that environment. And the reforms doesn't mean they must dish out willy-nilly security clearances, but all we are saying is they must do it proper, because somewhere there is they do things in the wrong way. For example, you would recall that there was an issue about security clearance of General Khumalo, which was, they said, was issued within a week, which is a lie. General Khumalo started the security clearance in 2018, and it was only finalized that time. And there is nothing wrong if I or any of the commanders saying, how far are you with so and so security clearance? They say, no, in a week we'll finalize it. Okay, no, finalize and let us know. There's nothing wrong with that. But then also there is a Major General Madondo who was there in crime intelligence, which they refused him the security clearance, and which was wrong, because before that, the same directorate did issue him with a security clearance. Because, for example, they say you have let's say, a case of assault some years ago when he was still a sergeant or a constable, and that case is expunged, and well, he was found guilty, dealt with it, whatever, he paid fine, and later when he was a brigadier, they issued issued him with a security clearance. And when it expires, now you can't come and raise the reason that I don't give you now because 30 years or 35 years ago, you had an assault case, whereas you did issue after that. So those were the disparities that we picked up, and hence I think it was himself, General Madondo, and General Khan, security clearance, that we referred to our other sister department to deal with that. So, but we are reforming that section with a view to, well, it's not the only one, but it's a number of areas that we need to reform in that environment.
Will you agree with a proposal that the top management of the police must be subjected to lifestyle audit, and that lifestyle audit must be done outside SAPS, perhaps with an institution like SIU?
I do agree, Honorable Chair. Hence, I've undertaken that process in April, and we are quite advanced in terms of having those processes to go. I don't see any problem. SIU can do it, or anybody else, but for now, SIU agreed to do it, and they are going to do it. They will start with myself and go down.
Thank you very much, General. Thank you very much, Chairperson. We can go to lunch now.
Thanks. I want to thank you. This is so Christian-like. Honorable members, let me do this.
This is the journey to One Africa.